Hello everyone. So today's topic of discussion is inventory turnover ratio. The inventory turnover ratio is basically a financial ratio that tells you how many times the inventory of a company has been sold or replenished over a certain period of time. Now this inventory turnover is basically calculated by the formula that's sales over the average inventory over that certain period of time, or the cost of goods sold divided by the average inventory. Now, when we talk about the formula, the cost of goods sold divided by the average inventory gives you a much better viewpoint as to your inventory turnover versus the sales, because the sales also have other markups that are not directly associated with the inventory cost directly, right? So it may have your operational costs, taxes, etc. included. So overall, the cost of goods sold divided by the average inventory gives you a much better outlook towards your inventory turnover ratio. Let's take an example. So let's say a company does sales of 1 million. They have their cost of goods sold, COGS, as $250,000, and their average inventory is $25,000. Now, by the formula of sales divided by average inventory, that's 1 million divided by 25,000, it gives you an inventory turnover of 40. On the other hand, COGS divided by your average inventory, that's 250,000 divided by 25,000 gives you an inventory turnover of 10. Now, according to the first formula, your inventory is replenished 40 times over a certain period of time, but by COGS, it's only replenished by 10 times over a certain period of time, right? Now, there's another formula that can further be derived from this that gives you the days of inventory. So that's basically how many days does it take for you to sell that particular amount of inventory. Now, for that, once you have calculated your inventory turnover, you simply divide it by 365. So 365 divided by 40 will give you around 9.1 days, and by the other formula, 365 divided by 10 will give you 36.5 days. So if you take just the other formula, that's COGS divided by average inventory, and then divide that by 365, so it takes around 36 to 37 days for one cycle of inventory to be sold by the company, right? So a particular average inventory amount that you calculated, the company is taking around 37 days. So that means the company has a lead time of 37 days to reorder and replenish their inventory. Otherwise, there will be loss of potential sales. There can be stock shortage, right? Because you didn't reorder in time. So that's why days of inventory becomes another important formula, which can be calculated along with the average inventory turnover ratio, right? Okay. Now, is higher inventory turnover good or bad? So this completely depends upon the industry in which you are working. For example, if you talk about FMCG, fast consumer goods, their inventory turnover would be much higher than industries such as a car dealer or a heavy machinery manufacturing company that basically might have the inventory turnover of 2 to 3, right? So it depends. Now, both higher and lower inventory turnover ratio comes with their perks and disadvantages. Now, higher turnover ratio basically implies that you're selling your goods fast. That means your financial summaries are good, and that also means that there's very less risk of your inventory being soiled, inventory being damaged, and obviously there's less holding cost also, because holding cost also adds up to the inventory cost later on, right? On the other hand, a very low turnover ratio means that you might be dealing with some higher priced goods in the market, like cars, higher manufacturing machines or everything, but then their holding cost also increases. There's chance of damages, the chance of obsolescence, right? So that comes with higher inventory. But obviously, mostly lower turnover ratio companies also have higher profit margins than companies that work on higher turnovers. So companies with higher turnovers like the FMCG industry usually work on volumes rather than profits. So their volume of sales are really high, but the profit margins are less, right, on each product. On the other hand, companies with low turnover sell less in volumes, but their each product is usually sold for much more profit margin in the industry, right? So I think this clears a lot about the topic that we discussed today. Stay tuned for more videos, and please like, share, comment, and I would like to hear what all topics you want me to discuss in the future. Thank you. Take care.